Hey, Leverage WP community. How you guys doing? Hey, it's nice to be here on another Friday for the live stream. And I'm finally successfully streaming this to Facebook and to YouTube at the same time, I hope. I think it's working. And so I'm excited to share with you guys today a quick live stream, less than 30 minutes I'm expecting, and I have a very specific and particular topic to discuss, and it's a use case that one of my client sites is asking for and that I'm going to be in the process of installing over the next week or two, and I'm going to record all my processes so that you guys can also follow along with that. Now, this has to do with e-commerce and a brick and mortar business where they're using WordPress for their website. They had been using PayPal to take payments and just using the PayPal invoicing and interface system to send invoices to clients and have those clients then receive the email and click through to PayPal, being able to use PayPal or a credit card. Now, we're transferring that in order to add a POS or a point of sale system so that my client can keep her client credit cards on file in a safe and secure manner. She's not holding credit card numbers. Nobody should be doing that at this point. But her payment processor, Stripe, will hold the credit card numbers. So we're switching over from a PayPal system separate from her website to an inclusive and coordinated system where her website will be configured with WooCommerce using Stripe as the payment gateway. And then I'm going to show you a little technique in this video where my client can then log into WooCommerce, create an order for an existing client, choose that client or customer, and then do a little trick where you can sort of log in as the customer and then click pay to pay with the existing credit card. And also, this whole system with WooCommerce enables the customer to be able to have a My Account page on the website where they can go in and manage their payment methods, see what credit cards they have on file, see when they expire, if there's a subscription in place. In the case of using Woo subscriptions or something like that, they could see their subscription timing and do things like cancel or extend. Changing payment methods is the big reason really to have a My Account area. So let me show you around a little bit. I will share my screen right now, and this is the Google timer that I was using. But first, I just want to show you around the site. Now, I'm working here. I can play around a bit because I've set up a staging subdomain. And as you guys know, I use GridPane. And this GridPane hosting easily lets me set up staging areas and lets me just click to log in with a single sign-on. And then if I want to, I can just update the site or create a new version of the site. And with one click, just push it over to the live version, overwriting the old site. Very, very easy. So in any case, on this staging subdomain, staging.elevateanimalrehab.com, this is the client website, the original one. It's really only a two-page website. I have a location and an interactive map embedded, some information. There's a button about services that scrolls you down to the different services, kind of like a single-page website with one page added, which is a contact page. Now, what I'll be adding is another whole section to the website, which is customer and client management, because the client will be able to come to the website and pay for an invoice or look at an order if they want to and pay themselves. But we are going to be installing this kind of credit card on file system for the client. So right now, these two buttons just scroll down to the contact form and to book an appointment. The orthopedic vet can go ahead and just fill out the contact form, and then Wendy will get back in touch and book the client, etc. And so we're introducing more interactivity to the website. We're going to do a whole redesign and everything. But let's look on the back end with what I've needed to set up in order to change from this functionality here with just the standard contact form to a WooCommerce based, customer centric, where customers will have a login account and a password that they can manage. And also the point of sale system, so that the business owner can go ahead and execute payment on an invoice using a credit card that's been saved on file with the payment gateway of using Stripe. And so let's just take a look. If I look in the back end at the ElevateAnimalRehab.com staging site, I'm here under plugins, installed plugins, and I just wanted to show you the 3 plugins that can be used to set up a system like this. All 3 are free and open source plugins. So, of course, first we're installing the latest version of WooCommerce, the most popular e-commerce platform for WordPress and potentially across the internet. But WooCommerce is the free open source plugin provided by Automatic, the company that supports WordPress itself. And then also from WooCommerce, the WooCommerce Stripe Gateway plugin. The Stripe Gateway allows you to connect to your Stripe account and to allow Stripe to manage credit cards, manage accounts, manage even ongoing subscriptions if needed, and to manage it through the WordPress website, both on the back end and the front end. And I'll show you some examples on the back end of WooCommerce, how you can do things when it's connected to the Stripe gateway, like create new orders and charge for them, or refund certain purchases very, very easily without having to log into Stripe at all. And so let's just take a look at the user switching plugin. This is the 3rd plugin that's required for this lesson. And this one is by a famous WordPresser from way back in the day, John Blackburn, and some others. And so let's just take a look at user switching real quick. Here I have a tab open on my other browser window, but here it is. This is at wordpress.org. Of course, I went under plugins and I just started to search. I ended up typing user switch, and user switching is the first plugin that comes up for that search. This plugin is the John Blackburn plugin. You can see it's got 200,000 plus active installations. It is a great plugin that gives a lot of functionality as a WordPress site manager when you're playing with different things, certain things like e-commerce, like working with WooCommerce. I'll show you in this lesson, but there are other ways to use this plugin. One of which is if you're using a membership site. If you want to log in to see, as you're building different sections or developing a membership site, what does it look like when you're logged in as a member instead of the administrator? And so it's a very convenient way of doing that. And so if I look, those really are the 3 plugins: user switching, WooCommerce, and the WooCommerce Stripe Gateway. Those are what are needed to formulate, configure, and integrate into a POS, or a point of sale system that you can use when you're logged into your WordPress site. And so let me go back, and I'm going to go to an area on leveragewp.com where I've tested this functionality. And I did it here because I do have existing customers. And so here you can see, here's what I did before, and then we'll go through and I'll show you how I set up this one that says pending payment. This one right here, the status says refunded. So let's just take a look at this order. You can see this is my name, of course. What I have is an order here. The order had a product associated with it. It was a $30 workshop, one of the Leverage WP paid workshops. And you could see that it's got a Stripe fee associated with it and a Stripe payout amount, etc. But you can see the status is refunded. And right now I'm logged in as the administrator, but this user, this customer, Greg Davis, has a different email address than my profile's email address. This is a different customer as seen by the website here. And so I was able to go through, and using this user switching functionality under plugins, user switching, to switch to this user and then go ahead and charge for this order. So let me go through, and in fact, what I'm going to do is go back to orders again. And all I did was create an order. First, what I'll do is just going to go ahead and select this order and move it to the trash so it doesn't confuse anything here. And let's start up. The only functionality that I need and plugins turned on and functional are WooCommerce, the Stripe payment gateway, and the user switching plugin, which I have enabled among many other things here at leveragewp.com. But in order to create an order for an existing customer and then process that order all the way through to collecting payment, these are the steps that you want to take. So first, you could go to orders, all orders, and look at them first, but here's an add order button. You could also go under WooCommerce, orders. Oh, you do have to go there to click the add order button. And so we're going to add an order manually in the back end using the WooCommerce control panel parts of the dashboard in WordPress. And so it's created a new order. It creates a new order number right here. It puts the date and time, and there's no other information associated with this order yet. No customer and no product associated with it yet. And so you do have to have a product created first. Under WooCommerce, underneath the WooCommerce menu item, there's a menu item called Products, and you have All Products and Add New. That's where you could create a product. This is often what I do in my web design business when I work with one-on-one clients. For each of my clients, and I'll just give you a quick tour here at updraft.media. This site, if you look at Updraft Media, this is just mine and my wife's business site where we can collect payment for any of our media work, for web design, for hosting and website care for me, for individual meetings. For example, the only thing you can really just book at random here are consultations for 15, 30, 45, or 60 minutes. But there's a whole catalog of products here that don't show up to the public, because what I do is I create a product for each of my customers as they come in. And so it could be a subscription product, or it could be a hosting itself, or a project fee. So sometimes I have website work as a project fee right here for $150 to do a specific task. And sometimes I have both. So for example, this design hosting for Acme Company is just an example where what I do is create a product. In my case, oftentimes I'll have a project fee and a subscription fee, which is monthly or annual, for the hosting and website care. So for this sample product for Acme Company, I just set up a few descriptive items. And what I do is under product data here. Now, I should say I have the Woo subscriptions plugin enabled here. That's a paid plugin from WooCommerce. Well worth spending I think it's $200 a year at full price, and often you can get 30 or 40% off a couple times a year during their sales. So it's a certain annual fee. But I'm able now to create, instead of a simple one-time fee product, I could create a simple subscription. I could say that it's virtual, which just means that it eliminates any shipping on the front end for the client. So I'll click virtual. And then if it's $1,000 every year, this is oftentimes what I give as a discount over the $100 a month hosting and website care plans that I offer. But I'll mark $1,000 every year, and then under a sign-up fee category, I can put the price of the website fee. So at this point, I often start with a minimum of a $5,000 website project fee, and then $1,000 every year. And sometimes if I take a 50% deposit to start the project, I'll first start out by doing a simple product first with just a one-time fee, and then I will later charge them to both pay for the remaining amount using this sign-up fee functionality. And that's when, since their site is live, I'll start charging them for the hosting. And so there's usually maybe two of these products. But in any case, Up here is the URL where I can right click and say copy link address, and then I can share that URL with the client via email or something like that. It's important over here that you choose under catalog visibility, you choose hidden. That's the default is usually shop and search results, so that if somebody hits the shop page on your website, it's just visible on the front end inside of your website. And so for a private product like this, I'm just going to click hidden, and that's the way I'll leave it. Now, I didn't make any changes, but I'll go back to all products, and good, it didn't ask me to save or anything like that. So you could see that I often set up both a one-time fee and an ongoing hosting, and that's the way I manage my clients. But if I go to the Updraft Media and I put in that URL that I copied, oh, it put it as a preview URL. So since that was a draft post, you know what I can do is I can go in here and say, okay, let's see, here's where just one of my recent, here was an example of the Moens.com. First, it was a website redesign. Half of the $6,400 project fee was done as just a simple product, a one-time pay. And the next one here, if I go right click and copy link address, now let's just take a look. The subsequent, once we were finished with the project and wanted to charge for the annual hosting, here's the way it looks when they go to their URL. And then they can go ahead and pay for the project. And so it's $1,000 a year, plus there's a $3,200 fee with this page, which they are aware is the remaining portion. Here's a link to the PDF, which was our signed proposal, which outlines everything that they get and what I do. And it just outlines the details about the project. So if they click sign up now, that obviously goes through the WooCommerce checkout page, and there it outlines what everything is. And so they're going to pay this much. They could pay with a check if they want to, but they put it through with a credit card and then click sign up now, and I receive that payment just a couple days later inside of my Stripe account and into my bank account. And so that's the process of creating the product. But let's go back to the orders. Once you have a product created inside of here, now you can proceed. If you want to set up WooCommerce and use it as a point of sale system, you've got to be logged in, of course, to your website. And what you do is you'd come over and create a new order like this, and then you have to know some information about the customer. And so I know that I want to find a Greg Davis with the email, a particular email address here that has a credit card on file. So if I pick that, now I can go down and it shows me the billing and shipping address, etc. And I can click add items. Now here I've also got to have that product created already, because I need to click add products, and then I'm going to go ahead and add 3 or more characters to search in my product list. So I'll use that workshop, for example. This workshop, if I pick that, quantity 1, and click add, then that's going to put that into this order. It's kind of like adding it to your cart as a customer. And so now that that's within this order, I can see the pricing and the items subtotal, etc. I could add a coupon. I could add other items or other products, even subscriptions here. And then I can click create. Now, this isn't doing anything like emailing the customer or anything. This is just saving the order inside of the database, so now I can interact with it. And now that I have the user switching plugin activated, if I go to installed plugins here, you would see that that plugin is activated. Now that I have it activated, there's a little button right here, switch to. This link allows me to switch to this customer's profile. And I'll show you what happens here. There's a couple of clicks necessary, but it's pretty easy. Once they have a payment method on file, this is the way this will happen. This goes, when you click switch to, this will open the actual front end My Account section, which I do have navigation here under account right here in the navigation. But we're here in the WooCommerce provided My Account section where customers can go. And I'm logged into the Greg Davis account that has the credit card on file. And so I could see down here, there's a little link that says switch back to Greg Davis. That'd be going back to the administrative user. And so now that I'm here, it sends me to the order. These are the order details, but I just want to go to orders so I can see a list of orders. And now I've got the pay button. This button will actually initiate the payment on the credit card on file. And really, that's all there is to it. The customer could also cancel this, which would place that order in a cancellation status. And we could deal with that later if that happens. They could click View. That's where we just were, where that sent the order over to here. And so if I click Orders, again, as the site administrator, I'm logged in as my customer on the front end here. And so I can click Pay. You can see what happened in the order history for this customer. Back when I tested this last September, this was a discounted one, so it was an order that was processed for $0, and then it's the reason it says $0 is because it was refunded in the next month in February. I refunded that to myself. And so these are orders, just order history here. But this is how you would initiate a payment. And so you can get back a number of different ways. If I just click switch back, I'll be on the front end and I can get back to the dashboard. If I want to go, this is just the My Account dashboard here, not the administrative dashboard. But what I want to do is just click switch to Greg Davis. Now that I've switched back to an administrator account, I get the WordPress admin bar here at the top once again. And I can roll over the name of the website and I can go to dashboard. Now I didn't click pay and complete the order, but if you wanted to, you could go back to WooCommerce orders and look at this top order here, and the status should have changed to processing. Many, once the order's been paid, it changes to a status of processing, so that if there's a shipping needed or handling or any interaction by the store owner, they can do that and then change the order from processing to completed. Completed is the final one. Now, since I don't have any products or shipping, I often leave orders at processing. I disable the automated email that goes out when the order is completed. Now, anytime I want to, I could just, click a lot of these orders and change their status to completed. And it won't generate an email out to the customer, which in the past has been confusing. Just real quick, since I mentioned it, you're probably curious, where do you do that? Well, if you wanted to shut off the, order completed email that gets generated, since they already got a receipt for this processing because the payment went through, you might not want to send them a second receipt that says, hey, your order's been completed, however long later. And so the way I do that is under WooCommerce settings, you can go to the emails tab. And this is where all the WooCommerce generated emails are. Some go to the account owner like me, and some go to the customer. Well, what I did here was under the completed order, this one's a little information about it. You can see that there's an X here. I first clicked here, or over on the right, you can click manage. And then it opens up, what is that email going to say? There's a little bit of content that you can edit, but then it puts the customer completed order stuff into the email that it sends. But all I did was I unchecked the enable, disable box right here. So I've disabled this notification and then clicked save changes. And in that way, when I change it from processing to completed, they don't get a second receipt that they didn't need, which oftentimes confuses them. Well, that's it for this one, you guys. Stay tuned to look at how I'm going to redesign Elevate Animal Rehab into a little more robust website and add the user switching plugin so that the customer can go ahead and use this as a point of sale. Now, you might see this warning, and if you try to try to install this into your website or a client's website, this plugin's not been tested with your current version of WordPress. I'm not at all worried about that. One thing I know is that this plugin's been around a long time. It is compatible up to the version 6 of WordPress where we are. We're only, up at 6.1 anyway. No, 6.22. But in any case, it was updated within the last year. It has 200,000 active installations. I'm not worried about this plugin not being updated yet. It is working for me at this point. There are a couple other ones that aren't as well used out there in the plugin repository, but I like this user switching. And so, like I said, user switching, WooCommerce, and the WooCommerce Stripe Gateway. Those are the 3 plugins that allow you to do this point of sale so that you can create a product and go ahead and go in and then create an order and switch to that user. After you've created the order, added the product, chosen the customer, then use this switch to link to switch to the customer, go to the front end to the My Account page, click orders, and then click pay. And in this way, you can use WooCommerce and your own website as a point of sale system using the free Stripe Gateway, free WooCommerce, and free user switching plugin. Well, thanks for being on this live stream. Every Friday I go live in these 2 free spots, YouTube and on Facebook. So thanks for being here. And also, I do offer paid workshops and workshops within the community. The Leverage WP community is not public facing. It is a private community at community.leveragewp.com where you can interact with me and with other WordPress users. You can build your business with me on your team, like an insurance policy. If you ever have any issues or want to ask a question or ask, hey, Greg, how do I build this? I've got a client that needs this complex integration. I'll go do research. I'll make you video tutorials. I'll figure out how to do that and help you complete that. It also comes with a free website that you can use for anything you want, for a practice area, a portfolio site, or even sell that site to your client to pay for the community. I'm opening registration on Monday, what's Monday? I'm opening registration on July I think it's the 3rd. Sorry about that. July 3rd coming up, 2023, for a 7-day period. So keep your eyes on your emails for that inside the Facebook group and also on the YouTube channel. Love to have you inside the private community where we really interact one-on-one. So thanks for being here on the live stream, guys. Kept it a little shorter to a half hour this time, which is more often what I'll do on these Friday live streams. I hope that was something valuable that you can use to sell to clients or to work into your own business. Again, thanks for being here, Leverage WP community. See you next time.